Good evening and welcome to tonight's meeting. We'll begin tonight's meetings as we typically do by way of introductions. We'll start this evening with our clerks.
Good evening. My name is Christine Smith. I am clerk to the board. Welcome.
Good evening. I am Marlissa Eason, deputy clerk to the board.
Good evening, everyone. I love the energy in the place tonight. Welcome. My name is Mark Jarrell. I've been elected by the people of District 4.
Hello, I'm Pat Cotham, County Commissioner at Large since 2012. It's great to see so many smiling faces in our chamber tonight. Welcome.
Welcome and thank you for being here. My name's Arthur Griffin and I serve as County Commissioner at Large.
Good evening. I am Mecklenburg County Commissioner Elaine Powell. I represent District 1, which is all of North Mecklenburg, Huntersville, Davidson, Cornelius, and North Charlotte. And I also serve as Vice Chair.
Good evening again. My name is George Dunlap. I'm elected by the people of District 3, and I have the privilege of serving as chair of the board.
Good evening. My name is Lee Altman, County Commissioner serving at large, and it's wonderful to see so many friends in the room. Welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Vilma D. Leake, and I represent the most powerful district in the county. That's District 2. So if you live in District 2, you're in the most powerful district. Welcome, and thank you for being here tonight.
Good evening. I'm Laura Meyer, and I represent District 5.
Good evening. I'm Susan Rodriguez McDowell, and I'm elected by the people of District 6. Welcome.
Good evening. I'm Anthony Trotman. I'm the acting county manager.
Good evening. Tyrone Wade, County Attorney.
Our invocation tonight will be offered by Commissioner Elaine Powell, who will also lead us into the Pledge of Allegiance.
So I'd like to offer a universal prayer that is especially fitting as we live in one of the fastest developing areas in the nation. With the knowledge that all is connected, may we all have the mindfulness and grace to prioritize and exercise wise stewardship of our environment, to tread lightly and cherish our natural resources. May our children enjoy the benefit of our intentional work to protect, preserve, and be good stewards of our natural resources and the environment around us. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So I understand we have some leaders of the Hispanic community here tonight. So this proclamation for Hispanic Heritage Month will be read by Commissioner Susan Rodriguez McDowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gosh, I thought he was going to skip us for a minute there. No. Woo. All right. Now, after the solemn proclamation about suicide, you know, it's heavy tonight. But it really is an honor for me to be able to read this proclamation, and I just feel so privileged to be able to do so. After I read this, I'm going to ask some leaders to come forward and receive the proclamation. So, whereas the observation of Hispanic Heritage Month started in 1968, 55 years ago, as Hispanic Heritage Week under President Lyndon Johnson, and in 1988, Congress and President Ronald Reagan expanded the celebration of the Hispanic presence in the United States of America to a 30-day commemoration. And whereas each year from September 15th to October 15th, Americans observe National Hispanic Heritage Month by celebrating the histories, cultures, and contributions of American citizens, residents, and immigrants of Hispanic origin from Mexico, Central America, South America, the Caribbean, and Spain. And whereas September 15th is significant because it is the anniversary of independence for the Latin American countries of Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. In addition, Mexico and Chile celebrate their Independence Days on September 16th and September 18th, respectively. Also, Columbus Day, or Dia de la Raza, which is October 12th, falls within the 30-day period. And whereas every year, the United States Congress and the White House call for public officials, educators, librarians, and all Americans to observe National Hispanic Heritage Month with appropriate ceremonies, activities, and programs. And whereas in Mecklenburg County, Hispanic Americans are the fastest growing segment of Mecklenburg County's population. The county is a diverse and enriched community and draws strength from the extraordinary diversity of its people. And whereas Charlotte's Patriotic Celebrations and Traditions Committee, Fiestas Patrias, is commemorating National Hispanic Heritage Month for the 8th consecutive year in Charlotte. And whereas this year, the Latin American Chamber of Commerce of Charlotte, the Latino Leadership Council, the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, and the Latin American Coalition have joined the celebration at the Government Center. And whereas Mecklenburg County's character is enhanced by Hispanic Americans and other ethnic groups, all of whom contribute and play a vital role in sustaining the quality of life that we all enjoy. And whereas, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, Mecklenburg County is home to 170,000 Latinos. And whereas a 2023 economic report indicated a 12.9 billion Metro Latino GDP for the Charlotte region. And whereas Mecklenburg County recognizes the extraordinary contributions made to this community by immigrants, residents, and citizens of Latino origin. Now, therefore, I, George Dunlap, Chair of the Mecklenburg Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim September 15th, 2023 through October 15th, 2023 as Hispanic Heritage Month in Mecklenburg County and commend its observance to all citizens this 19th day of September, 2023. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Any unreadiness? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, so carries the motion.
So what we would like to do is have our leaders come down and accept the proclamation. And while you do that, actually, I would like to ask everyone of Hispanic origin in the chamber tonight to stand up and be recognized.
I think the way we're going to handle this, Susan, is there are a number of you have signed up to speak.
Yep, they're coming down.
All right.
Is there a third one?
Should be.
Some of them are just going to stand with them, but a few of them have signed up to speak.
Okay, so if you are coming to receive the proclamation on behalf of the group, you can come down now as well, but these three are going to speak. So if you'll go to the podium, and your group has a total of 10 minutes.
Would you like me to start?
Great.
Hey, it looks like the clock is ticking.
It is.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Grace Bailey. I serve as President CEO for the Latin American Chamber of Commerce here in Charlotte. On behalf of the Latino Hispanic business community, I would like to thank you for this acknowledgement and this proclamation. As you know, the Latino GDP study shows that we contribute $2.8 trillion to the U.S. economy, and on a yearly basis, we contribute 600 workers per year. The Department of Labor shows that by year 2030, 78% of the labor force will be Latino. So we're very proud to be here today recognizing those contributions that we have made and will continue to make to this great state that we call our home. So we are poised here locally to be trailblazers, to power the local economy, and we're very proud to do so because, again, we call this our home, and we want to make this great state a better place for our children and for your children for the years to come. So again, on behalf of the Latin American Chamber of Commerce and the Latino community, thank you for today.
Good evening. My name is Michael Trochet. I am the NAREP Charlotte Chapter President for 2024. And in a observance of Hispanic Heritage Month, I wanted to have an opportunity to speak further on some of the numbers that Gris has shared here with us. The Hispanic borrowers are expected to be 70% of new home ownership between now and 2040. As a demographic as a whole, we are 5.8 million mortgage-ready families in this country. If you take into account the fact that excluding new home construction, there are only about 1.1 to 1.2 million homes available for purchase in the entire United States, that's a very big percentage in terms number-wise as to how our buying power is. However, as great as those numbers are, as large as our GDP is, which would actually equate to the 5th largest economy in the world, larger than France, larger than Britain at 2.8 trillion, we still encounter problems with affordable home ownership. And one of NAREP's missions is the policy that we stand behind in furtherance of our mission of Hispanic home ownership. So I come to you today thanking you again for our Hispanic Heritage Proclamation, but also to let you know that our families want to be part of the city. We are hardworking, we take great pride in our communities, and home ownership and the policies that affect our community are of paramount importance just because of the sheer numbers of us that are currently looking for homes. So as part of, again, NAREP's mission with housing advocacy, we want to let you know that we're here to partner with you to try and make our city the best that it can be to become diverse so that we are all included and that we can all partake in the American dream of home ownership, which is normally the first step in creating generational wealth. Thank you very much.
I'm very happy to see so many familiar faces in front of me, and so many familiar faces, my friends, my community, be present this night here to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. Before Hispanic Heritage Month was a tendency, we started this venture with Manolo Betancourt in Mama's Coffee House. And then we have been celebrating this moment for the 170,000 Hispanics in Mecklenburg County every year. And I'm very grateful that the conspiracy that we did with Commissioner Susan Rodriguez McDowell and Federico Rios to have proclamations in the city and in the county, even one joint proclamation several years ago, is getting every day better. ¡Vivan los hispanos en Charlotte!
Okay, would you guys please come on down and receive the proclamation for those who are joining them, if you'll come get on the end.
Good to see you. Always good to see you.
Wendy, you're not going to join them? I had to shake your hand a long time.
Manolo.
Nolo.
Come on.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
This is bakery.
Try not to shake too many hands. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Pleasure. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello. How are you?
How's the farm?
It's wonderful.
I know, I got to come back.
Yes. Thank you so much for your words. That was great.
Being
Really
here.
appreciate it. Absolutely. Randy, you're everything that you do. Nolo, you're the star.
Thank you.
For being here. Thanks for coming.
Miss you, man. Come back to Pineville.
Thanks to see you.
All right.
That's good.
see. Really appreciate you being here this evening, especially those of you who are attending in person. We also want to say thank you to those that are watching us either on the city's YouTube channel or in other virtual possibilities that you have. And so today is the first business meeting of the last business meeting for the month of September for the Charlotte City Council. And we really appreciate your patience here and look forward to this meeting tonight. So we'll begin with the calling this meeting to order, and we'll begin with introductions, and we'll start with our deputy clerk.
Julie Sons, Deputy City Clerk.
Hola and welcome, Dimple Ajmera at large.
Marjorie Molina, District 5.
Good evening, Renee Johnson, and I'm honored to serve District 4.
Good evening, Luana Slight Mayfield, Council Member at Large.
Marcus Jones, City Manager.
Vi Lyles, Mayor.
Braxton Winston, Mayor Pro Tem.
Malcolm Graham, District 2.
Ed Driggs, District 7.
Tarver Carr, District 6.
Buenas tardes. Dante Anderson, District 1.
I like it. Good evening, Victoria Watlington, Charlotte City Council, District 3.
Good evening, Patrick Baker, City Attorney.
Muy bien.
We are very, very grateful that you come to our meetings, and we want you to know that we begin our meeting with an invocation or an expression of inspiration that generally is to help solemnize the occasion that we have to make sure that we treat each other with respect and civility. And so we do this because we know that our community has a diverse presence in terms of faith and religious practices. So today we are going to ask Councilmember Molina to give us our remarks for this afternoon's meeting, and know that we will, if you choose to participate in that, please do. And following her message, we will then go and have the Pledge of Allegiance. Again, if you choose to stand with us with the Pledge of Allegiance, please do so. So, Councilmember Molina.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to first say happy Hispanic Heritage Month, y quiero dar la bienvenida a toda la gente que han venido acá para celebrar con nosotros. Y me da demasiado gusto de ver todas estas caras que conozco, y pues thank you for coming today, for everyone who I know to come and celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month with us today. And it's a school work day for some people, or it's a work day, a student work day. So we got kids at home, we got parents probably cooking and cleaning. So anyway, I want to take a moment to talk about something a little bit different. However, today is officially a Day of Atonement, and I want to make sure that I say this correctly. It's called Yom Kippur, and it's a day of reflection, and it's a day to reflect on what you've done for the year and the things that you could have done better, and all the things and how we could be a better person. And this is actually what we consider to be a Jewish holiday. And according to tradition, the first Yom Kippur took place after the Israelites' exodus from Egypt and arrival to Mount Sinai, where God gave Moses the 10 Commandments. It is the holiest day in Judaism. Typically in September or early October, it's celebrated from sunset on September 24th until after nightfall on September 25th. So it's officially 25 hours. You traditionally abstain from food and drink, and it's a fast, and it's looked at as a cleansing of one's spirit rather than a punishment. So together, Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah comprise the high holy days in Judaism. And so from what I know about Judaism, Judaism is actually inextricably tied to Christianity. So for those that are celebrating, I want to make sure that I don't say this wrong, Jamar Tav. And I hope that you guys will appreciate that and help us celebrate both Yom Kippur, and we're also here to acknowledge and celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month.
Thank you, Ms. Molina. Now we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. We also take this time to recognize significant events that are taking place in our community. And so we will have two proclamations tonight, and I'm going to lead off with the proclamation for Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm going to read it in English for those of us that do not speak fluently Spanish or even not fluent Spanish. So I'm going to read it in English, and then Ms. Molina will follow up in Spanish. Whereas for decades, Americans have observed National Hispanic Heritage Month by celebrating the histories, culture, and contribution of American citizens, residents, and immigrants of Hispanic origin from Mexico, Central America, South America, the Caribbean, and Spain. And in September 1968, Congress and President Lyndon B. Johnson proclaimed National Hispanic Heritage Week. In 1988, the Congress and President Ronald Reagan expanded the celebration expanded the celebration of the Hispanic presence in the United States to a month-long commemoration. Every year, the United States Congress and the White House call for public officials, educators, librarians, and all Americans to observe National Hispanic Heritage Month with appropriate ceremonies, activities, and programs. This year, the Latin American Chamber of Commerce, the Latino Leadership Council, the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, and the Latin American Coalition joined in the celebration at the Government Center. And Charlotte's Patriotic Celebrations and Traditions Committee is commemorating the National Hispanic Heritage Month at the Mint Museum for the 9th consecutive year. So, according to the Office of the U.S. Census, Mecklenburg County is home to 170,000 Latinos. The City of Charlotte recognizes the extraordinary contributions made to this community by immigrants, residents, and citizens of Latino options. Therefore, I, Vi Alexander Lyles, do hereby proclaim September 15th through October the 15th as Hispanic Heritage Month. Ms. Molina.
Bueno, por todas las que me conocen a mí, normalmente yo tengo a Federico Ríos para poder ayudarme con eso. Más bien me da ganas de llamarlo para acá para que me ayude con eso. But, bueno, voy a tratar de leer todo eso en español. Considerando que durante décadas, cada año de los Estados Unidos observan el mes nacional de la herencia hispana del 15 de septiembre al 15 de octubre a celebrar las historias, culturas y contribuciones de los ciudadanos americanos, residentes y inmigrantes de origen hispano de México, América Central, América del Sur, el Caribe y España. Y considerando que en septiembre de 1968 el Congreso y el presidente Lyndon B. Johnson proclamarán la Semana Nacional de la Herencia Hispana, que en 1988 el Congreso y el presidente Ronald Reagan aplicaron la celebración de la presencia hispana en Estados Unidos de América a una conmemoración de un mes de duración, y considerando que cada año el Congreso de los Estados Unidos y la Casa Blanca hacen un llamamiento a los funcionarios públicos, educadores, bibliotecarios y a todos los Estados Americans para que conmemoren el mes nacional de la herencia hispana con ceremonias, actividades y programas adecuados. Y considerando que en ese año la Cámara de Comercio Latinoamericano de Charlotte, el concejal de Latino, la Asociación Nacional de Profesionales de la Propiedad Raíz y la Coalición Latinoamericana se han unido a la celebración en el centro del gobierno y considerando que el Comité de Fiestas Patrias y Tradiciones de Charlotte Fiestas Patrias están conmemorando el mes nacional de herencia hispana en el Museo Mint por noveno año consecutivo en Charlotte y considerando que, según la Oficina de Censo de los Estados Unidos, en Condado Mecklenburg es el hogar de 170,000 latinos, la ciudad de Charlotte reconoce extraordinarias contribuciones hechas en esta comunidad por los inmigrantes residentes ciudadanos de origen latino. Por tanto, yo, by Alexander Laos, alcaldesa de Charlotte, proclama el mes del 15 de septiembre al 15 de octubre de 2023 como el mes de herencia hispana en Charlotte y recomiendo su observancia a todos los ciudadanos. Testigo mi mano y sello oficial de la ciudad de Charlotte.
So we want to invite a representative.
Rafael Prieto, por favor, que venga para acá para poder recibir esto, mi amor.
Yeah, that's right.
Couldn't have said it better. Literally, could not have said it better.
I think September is going to be a pretty fun month for some people. So.
Mr. Munoz Alvarez, you have 2 minutes.
Madam Mayor, City Council members, buenas tardes, buenas noches. My name is Simón Munoz Alvarez, and I'm the serving chair for the Latin American Chamber of Commerce. And it gives me great honor and a lot of pleasure to be standing in front of you all. On behalf of the Hispanic Latino business community, thank you, or should I say gracias, for the proclamation and an acknowledgement of the contributions that our community makes to this great city we call home. In recent years, the Latino community in Charlotte has seen a remarkable increase, contributing to this city's cultural richness and equally important to its economic vitality. The growth presents a unique opportunity for residents of all backgrounds to come together and foster a more inclusive environment in our Queen City. Latinos are the largest minority group, making up 19% of the nation's population. 1 out of 5 Latino people in the United States are Latinos. As we consider the large and rapidly growing economic contributions of Latinos living in the Charlotte metro area and across the Carolinas, it is important to understand that this impact is not new. Instead, it is the continuation of centuries-old tradition, a tradition of Latinos providing economic strength and resiliency for the benefit of all people. On a national scale, Latinos contribute $2.8 trillion to the GDP and add on average of 600,000 jobs to the workforce per year. Latinos in Charlotte metropolitan area are poised to help power the region's economy as they add their value, population growth, work ethic, and family values. We are committed to strengthening and adding value to this great city and to make this a place we call home, the best place to live for years to come. Again, council members, Mayor Lyles, a dear friend to us, on behalf of everyone joining us tonight, which left, thank you for celebrating us tonight and giving us this opportunity. Feliz mes de la herencia hispana.
Thank you.
Very much. Marta Tataje and Jose Hernandez Paris. Please come down.
Hello, muy buenas noches. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Mayor Lyles, and Mayor Pro Tem Winston, council members and staff. My name is Marta Tataje, and I'm a board member of NAREP, that's the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, and director of their Legislative Influencers of Government Affairs, otherwise called LIGA, so NAREP LIGA. I have been a mortgage lender for the past 21 years and have lived in District 6 for the past 21 years. NAREP is the largest Hispanic business organization in the country with over 40,000 members and over 100 chapters throughout the country. Our local chapter has over 200 members and still growing. Our mission is to advocate for the sustainability of homeownership for the Hispanic community, for we know that this is the best way for us to close that wealth gap. NAREP reports that in the next 2 decades, 70% of new homeowners will be Latino. We have seen Latino homeownership rates consistently increase over the past 8 years, and it's expected to continue to increase, while other groups may decrease. We show a 66.1% labor force participation rate here in the state of North Carolina, the highest of any group, earning us a position of having 7.9 million mortgage-ready people. So now, did you know that between 2019 and 2021, the Charlotte Metro statistical area was #1 in growth in number of Latino-owned households by adding 8,614 households? And did you know that we were #1 in the growth rate of Latino-owned household at 27% growth rate? Yet, we're still lagging with a 51.7% homeownership rate in North Carolina compared to 75.2% among non-Hispanic whites. The Charlotte metro area obviously is a desirable place for us to live, and we thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Provide them to the clerk. 2 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and the City Council members. I'm here to thank you for taking the time to acknowledge Hispanic Heritage Month and the immense contribution of Hispanic Latinos to the Charlotte and Mecklenburg County. As the Executive Director of the Latin American Coalition, one of the oldest organizations in the state of North Carolina, with over 33 years of service, we are very proud to call Charlotte home. And we're very grateful for the acknowledgement and for the time that you have taken today. Just wanted to be here to say thank you for the time that you took to acknowledge us, and we hope that you continue to acknowledge our contributions in future years. Thank you so much.